Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a creative mixed media art journal, a traveler's notebook size, following the words and wisdom of Mark Twain in his book, Following the Equator. Sit down, enjoy, and let's see where we go. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the world of obsession of paper. We are on chapter 36, and he is on his way back to Australia, and then he goes into Sydney, all in this one chapter. He goes into Sydney, which is down here. Let me see if I'm showing you this good enough. Okay, down here. And then he's going up the coast by train, and he's going in a little bit, and then he comes back to Sydney. All in this chapter. Don't forget now, he's on a speaking tour, a lecture tour of his books or philosophy or whatever, poetry, whatever. So, but he leaves on Friday the 13th. So that would be fun. He goes into a town, Newcastle and Scone, which is way inland. I tracked it on the map. Not quite as far as Brisbane, but he's going through some national parks and beautiful countryside, he said. Along the Hawkesbury River, and he does make a list of all the Australian names that he thinks are funny, cities names, not funny, different. And he said his favorite one was Woolloomooloo, this one right here. He said it has eight O's in it. And he said one day he wants to write a poem with all of these words. And they're Aborigine words. Most of them, I would think all of them. Because they're just totally different than anything we would know. And 81 city names that he wants to make a poem one day. And that was the chapter. So a lot happened in 4 pages. As far as the geography, he talks a lot about people on the train ride and mostly talking about people because he observes all these people. That's what he kind of does. So that is our chapter. And I think I'm going to include a map. Now, I've already printed some more paper, quite a bit more paper for these pages. I may or may not use it. I knew he was going back to Sydney. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm obsessed. That's my painted paper that I want to put through the computer and print something else on it, or maybe cut out image, I don't know. But I thought I would do the inside of a train and the dining cars and a sleeping car berth. That's a possibility for today. Then I had, since I knew he was sailing back to Sydney, I had an old ship's log and made another side to sort of match it. And I can double up on ink and stuff on this. So I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to use. Most likely this, because it matches that. But I'm obsessed. This is something way out there. This is something way out there. This is one of my own collages, and I kind of manipulated it a little bit. Then I had another one with whales, thinking he might see whales, but basically it's just an excuse to play with paper. Last night I painted some more, just with tons of water, and it's kind of like the watercolor version of eco dyeing. I'm not good at it. I don't have the supplies. I don't want to go buy the supplies. I do have a brake drum that we found in the ditch around the corner from our house, but I imitated it here and then splatter some other colors on it. That's just the ones I made last night. So it's an obsession. at the back side of that one. Huh. You know why? Because I painted these on here, and there was so much water on the front that it picked up some of the stuff off of here, I think. Not a bad thing in my book. And it is my book. Alrighty. So, all that to say, let's get to work. I think I'm going to ink up the edges. And I want to do something with Friday the 13th. He doesn't mention it as far as being superstitious, but boy, oh boy. I'm not that superstitious either. And it was December 13th, which is funny. Last year, December 13th was a Friday for us. I only know that it's because that's the day I went down to the beach for the first time and started right after we bought it earlier in the week. No, that we did buy it that day. We bought it on a Friday the 13th. And I only know that because my birthday's on the 14th. Otherwise, I don't remember things like that normally. One of my sisters does. Oh, I checked out the local newspaper from where I grew up about the fires. Oh, and they had the one in Point Reyes, they have managed to save so far a Miwok replicated village. Now, the Miwoks were the local Indians, and I went to a summer camp one year about the Miwok Indians, and thoroughly loved it. They were coastal Indians, so they did a lot of trading with seashells and fish and They made baskets, and we had how to weave baskets and how they made their houses and things like that. I was probably 12 or 13, I think. But it stuck by me. I remember that for sure. But it's so sad, those places. Oh. But the two big ones, the one by my sister and the one up in the wine country area, are about 50% contained. Crazy. I don't know if I told you either that my sister said that because she works for a global winery, huge, family owned still, and they were going to start testing their grapes for smoke damage. They hadn't lost any fields yet, and they lease a lot of grapes from independent farms and ranches and winery things and tasting rooms and things like that. But they were expecting, they hadn't lost any grapes, but they were expecting smoke damage. So if your wine prices go up in the next year or two, it's because they were all damaged by smoke. All right, I think I'm going to put this here, or actually maybe up here, to balance out this. I'm going to need to trim this down a little bit because the book I got out of one of my map books actually had the... So it's taken him 3 days to get from New Zealand, which I think he was up in the northern area, back over to Sydney. Sailing. All right. Now, day 32. September. Blows my mind. Now, in 2 weeks, our beach house is not rented that week. So I'm hoping, if it's still not, because we're going to let it try to rent. If it's not, we're going to go down. So I may or may not film. I don't know. We'll just see how that all works out, because we're not going to reserve it until the very last minute in case somebody still wants to rent it, because it's paying our bills for that place. The taxes and leases and electrical and stuff like that. Plus, we haven't been down there, so we don't know how much damage has been done with the renters over the summer. Our project for it next year and over the winter is to take the carpeting from upstairs, and one bedroom downstairs still has carpeting, take all that up and put hardwoods throughout the rest of the way. The same kind we have, just finish out the rest of the house so that we don't have to worry about carpet. Why anybody would put carpeting down in a beach house is beyond me anyhow, but people do. Our friends that have the beach house in the same place, they did that this past winter, replaced all the carpeting with hardwoods. And now, I've always was kind of lenient, not ready to do it, especially on the stairs, because the dog would trip on the hardwood floors, especially coming down the stairs. But now we don't have to worry about a dog. It's been a week today. This is Wednesday for me. Oh, yeah. It's... can't talk about it. Oh, I'm not crying all the time anymore, but it's still, just tragic. It was so sad. You've had somebody that long. All right. Mark Twain. Forget the dog. Friday the 13th. Let me see here. Trying to think. Want some numbers. Now I have stencils. Could I make a 13 on my own? I'm just quite certain, but these are just cheap stencils that I got off of Amazon. I accidentally ordered 2. I'm looking for numbers. A lot of these I probably will never use. Aha, here's the numbers. Oh, I had one right here for my volume. Oh, well. Okay, here's another one. So I think I'm going to keep these papers out and glue them in at the last second because it's just easier to work on. I have a memory board or whatever they call those things that you can write on, stick under here, and it makes it a harder surface to write on for 2021. And a plastic sleeve, Bomb Kuchin, the store that sells a lot of Traveler's Notebook stuff in LA, for Traveler's Notebook, is ordering them and getting them in. So I got stickers, a plastic sleeve, and the pencil board, or whatever you call that thing. Ink board, or I can't remember. All right. All of that. So if I do this in Amy Tangerine stamps, this is what I keep my Amy Tangerine font in. F. And this is not my idea. I got this idea from I Love My Life Mitts. She was keeping teeny tiny little stamps in pillboxes. These are weather ones. I was like, oh, that's genius. And I lost my Amy Tangerine stamps one time, so I keep them in here now, and I don't lose them. I found them and after I had ordered another set. All right. I think I want to go with one of these pages that I've already colored. You know, I'm making all these gorgeous papers. And I have a ton of beautiful, bright colored pages. Oh, there's that other. There's no numbers on that one. There's the digital ones, though. That's okay. I'll use this. Sorry, squirrel. This is me keeping everything right here. Things colored. I'm trying to just find a scrap. I don't have to rip anything. Ugh, my head is just out there. Oh, here we go. I still love my bright colored paper. I think this journal leads itself to vintage since it's back in time with Mark Twain. So I haven't abandoned all my bright colored paper from Dina Wakley, and I still have some of Jane Davenport paper. But I am kind of, oh, who am I kidding? I still love stuff like that. Oh, here we go. Here's a Viking River Cruise catalog that I painted, because we're starting to get them again. And we have a cruise picked out, probably not until 2022. But it's one from Paris to Normandy. And my husband has always wanted to do that trip. And we were in Paris many years ago. We were supposed to go to Normandy, but we were there on our own. And we don't speak French. We got lost and we missed our tour to Normandy. We were supposed to get on a... Anyhow, we got waylaid and we didn't get into Normandy, and then my husband's passport was stolen and that trip went downhill. So it would be nice to go back to Paris under nicer terms with people that know where they're going. Now, this could be problematic because there's no green on here, but we can always fix that. Or this dark blue. Just happen to have my paints here. And I think that's the color I want. Or is it? Anyhow, I think I'm going to add some blue to this. And add some green, forest green. Push back the pink. I'll let that dry and see what happens. And I think I might just put my towns on there. This is Friday the 13th. That's Friday the 13th. This needs to dry. It's amazing how much of our trees are already starting to turn color. I think I'm going to try to catch a couple pictures of them. Seems like it's too early, but this year has just been the weirdest year for the entire world. I don't like that. I have a Canon selfie. I got it back out and started using it. I think, Kurti, you left me a comment a while back, the last week or so, that said use your Canon selfie again. I'm like, huh, how does she always know what I'm up to? Alrighty, now we need to, oh, what was the name of the places he was? Oh, my ruler. Alright, I'm going to put Friday the 13th and then write right on here, I think. Back to Sydney on to a train bound for Newcastle and Scone, yum, along the Hawkesbury River region. Oh, listen to this. Every now and then, the noblest group of mountains and the most enchanting rearrangements of the water. Views of stream and lake imposing framed in woody hills, and every now and then the noblest group of mountains and the most enchanting rearrangements of water effects. Whew! It's quite poetic. Views of noblest groupings of mountains. Is this gonna fit? And the most enchanting we're just going to put water effects. We're taking liberties with Mark Twain's writings. Back to Sydney, onto a train bound for Newcastle and Scone along the Hawkesbury River region. Views of noblest groupings of mountains and the most enchanting water effects. Woo, that's pretty. I guess he knew what he was doing, huh? Very pretty. And see, the next chapter starts December 23rd. So that took him 10 days, all of that. But he doesn't elaborate very much. Oopsie. Oh, dear. Where's this going to go? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Let me dry this. Yeah, that cruise is from Paris to Normandy and back to Paris. So even though we have been to Paris, we will see things, because we haven't been up in the Eiffel Tower. But I think if, you know, those dastardly tour groups can get into places ahead of other people. I know. People hate tour groups. I'm not crazy about them either, but they sure come in handy at times. But there's going to have to be a vaccine, and there's going to have to be some real news about this virus, because we don't get the real news here all the time. We get portions of it, but otherwise it's all fake news. And my art group is going out to lunch today, and I declined. They're going into a restaurant. I have not been into a restaurant yet. And I said, you know, if the weather cools off eventually and we can sit outside, possibly. But I'm not ready to go into a restaurant yet. And they were all kind of, whatever, snotty. Because they believe Trump and all that he has to say and is hiding from us, and I don't. I believe the science. My husband and I don't. Even his own brother. All right. Oh, I need a brown pen. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Copic. I only have a few Copic markers. All right, these numbers are quite smaller, but that's okay. Very much smaller as it turns out. Does it look stupid? I could use this as a 1 and part of a B as a 3. What's it going to look like over this, though? I may be going into the danger zone here. Friday. All right. Huh. Can you do this? I might be able to use this same paint set right here. It kind of looks weird, very weird, but it kind of looks cryptic, and I'm okay with that. Hopefully you can't hear my stomach growling. Friday the 13th. All right. Now, let's get it in the book. I'm good with this. My next door neighbor is mowing his grass, so you might be able to hear that too. Life goes on. Yeah, we're sort of talking about a future trip in 2023. I talked to my sister-in-law who's in my art group too. She's a real artist. I'm not. She is. She said she was not ready to go out. And they believe Trump, but her son works in a hospital in Charlotte, so she's listening to a little science and a little politics and is still not willing to bite the bullet. These other ladies have been out. And that's the thing. I don't know where they've been because they don't believe the science. So I'm just protecting myself here in my little cocoon. When we go to the beach, we will bring groceries or go to the grocery store down there, but it's pretty well monitored. And I feel safe in a grocery store because they have directional aisles and you have to wear a mask. And even if you didn't, I would. And I wash before I go in and I wash when I get out. Everything is pretty sterilized when we get home, and we'll take some stuff with us. So we're in and out fast. Kind of like that. I like this one better though. Nick Badentalk has it over me. Oh, I guess I better go eat. My stomach's growling like crazy. All right. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Bye.